Hi, and welcome to this quick tool review. In this review I'll be reviewing some gear cutters from BangGood. One of my viewers asked if I could do that, and BangGood was good enough to send me a set. And by set I mean pieces 1 through 8. The complete gear cutter set currently being sold, or sets currently being sold, are numbered 1 through 8, with each gear cutter being set to cut a specific range of number of teeth. And the reason for this is that the geometry changes slightly the greater the number of teeth. So it goes from number 1, like this guy right here. They come wrapped in oil paper, and they are ground, not polished. This is for diametral pitch 6 with a pressure angle of 14.5, and those two numbers need to match in order for the gears to be compatible. The diametral pitch is the diameter divided into the number of teeth, and that being a constant decides your geometry. The pressure angle, 14.5 degrees, is the two gear teeth coming together. What is the angle that that they're pressing on each other at, or the pressure angle? These are well ground. They are 22 millimeter arbor, so if you're used to a US style like a 1-inch arbor like that, you're going to have to buy a 22 millimeter arbor. That's only for us crazy people in the US that insist on sticking to the standard system. This gear, this cutter, unlike the rest in here, when they broached it, they didn't broach it very well, and I had to take a diamond Dremel tool insert and grind this out to make it fit so that I could get it on the arbor, because I couldn't even get it on the arbor when I first got the set. It's the only one in the set like that. The finish is not quite as good as the others as well. That just may be a coincidence, or whatever group made that one. It was nice. You notice this one's nicer looking. They're not honed, but they're ground nicely. If you look at one like this made in Brazil, this one's actually been finely ground. I have another one that's even been ground and honed. This one's just ground and plated with nickel, it looks like. That's also just ground. This gear cutter set was in the 60s for the whole set. Now contrast that to this, which this gear cutter for one small range of teeth cost over $100. So it's for bigger, it's obviously for bigger gears, but the fact still remains that this is a much more affordable set. Your average person probably couldn't even get into a gear cutter set. So you'll notice the broaching on this one is much cleaner for the keyway. This one I had to open it up a little bit in order for it to get it to fit. This one fits perfectly, and the remaining ones also fit. It's actually a really good fit. If you go on a little bit of an angle, it binds. They did a really nice job of getting it to tolerance when they put it on there. It's like 1,000th clearance. I think with a little bit of Vactra, this would go on really easily. But anyways, once it's here, there's just the tiniest bit of slop, and it comes right off very easily. So they did a really nice job. Problem with one of the gears, and it does, because this hardened and ground steel, a file won't touch it, skates right off it. The full set, like I said, goes from gear cutters 1 through 8. You notice that this is for 135 teeth and up, and the geometry is different than number 1. Number 1 in this set is for 12 and 13 teeth. And in order for these gears to mate properly, you need that change, because the larger, because the diametral pitch, the ratio of the diameter to the number of teeth is constant, that means that a lot more teeth means a much larger gear. And a much larger gear, you can imagine that the teeth, when you're having a small gear, are going to have angles like this. And as the gear gets bigger and bigger in diameter, the teeth are going to spread out. So the diameter has to change to compensate. This number 8 gear is also good for what's called a rack, which is a gear with an infinite diameter, or basically a straight bar that has gear teeth cut in it. So again, the full set is really good for the price for the money. I was a little disappointed that I had to fix the keyway in one of them, but you know, for the price of less than 1 gear, I can get a full set. I'll put up with it. They come in oil paper and generally well packaged. So my opinion is thumbs up for the price. Okay, here is a close-up of the BangGood gear cutter under the microscope, and the shmoo there is just some oil. The grinding is pretty good, and the gear cutter is reasonably sharp. The face is also ground, and on the edge of the teeth where the grinding part didn't hit it, you can see some mill scale from the heat treatment. The quality, like I said, is pretty darn good, except for that one gear. Here is a close-up of the Brazilian one just to give you a difference in perspective of the grind quality. And it's just slightly better ground, just a little bit finer grinding. I'm not sure how that works out. Maybe multiple part process or maybe not as coarse a wheel. But the end result is a slightly finer surface. Not honed, though, in any case. So anyways, that was just for comparison. And again, decent quality on the BangGood, especially for the money. A little later on, I'm actually going to be using these in a project, so stay tuned and you'll get to see it. I don't have that project ready right now, but as soon as I do, I will point out that I'm using the BangGood gear cutters again, so you know. Remember, you're going to have to buy a 22mm arbor if you want to use them. These are available on eBay, BangGood, and AliExpress. R8. In my case, it's R8 to 22mm. Some people may use a cat holder for bigger mills. In any case, I think it's an excellent price for the money. Again, this is, you buy for one diametral pitch and one pressure angle. Most of the ones on BangGood, I think all are 14.5 degree. Another common pressure angle is 20 degrees. So you need to know what you're doing, do a little bit of research. When I do my project where I cut gears, I will try and go into it a bit more. I am by no means an expert, but I have been reading a ton about them. There's entire books to gear cutting. Also, these gears are called spur gears, if I have it right. And that's because the teeth are straight going across. A quieter gear is a helical gear where the tooth is curved and the tooth makes contact across the tooth only one little section at a time. They sort of roll across each other, each one, but you can have multiple teeth making contact simultaneously. So if I've got that right, helical gears are good for a heavier load and are much quieter than a I'm totally drawn a blank for the spur gear. However, spur gears are about the only kind you can cut at home without some really advanced machinery. Can't really easily cut helical gears on a milling machine as far as I know. So that's my review. Excellent price for the money. You may have to do a little tweaking on them. Hopefully not. Maybe I just got a one-off. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope it was useful for you and hope to see you next time.